So that was a heck of a run. And I want to explain the run, and I want to break it down for you because, so here's the thing. I've been training at MAF for a long time. Yes, I took a little bit of time off. And, I came back, felt really, really great. And my MAF pace is, it's not totally kind of where it was at my peak, but it's still way better than it was when I started months ago. However, I was reading a post on one of my videos where a gentleman asked, how fast can I run now? And so I kind of woke up, shook the cobwebs out of my head and went, well, I don't really know. I mean, I haven't run a 10K like race pace. I don't know what that feels like because it's been so long. So today I had the bright idea to say, let's try it out. Instead of going for a 25K run, let's do a 10K and see how I do. Like I said, it's been a while. There's a lot going on in the world where, a lot of people are staying home. And likewise, our races are canceled. We're living in a bubble right now. And so let's see what I can do. I can't really take the camera along with me and film me as I run, because that would require my daughter waking up early, which is definitely not going to happen where she could ride the bike. We'll review it. We'll talk about kind of how it went down, how I feel, and maybe some things I've learned in the course of it. Anyways, I gotta do my warm-up first. We'll see you when we get back. Some of you have been asking, have I gotten faster? Does MAF actually work? Or how long do you have to do MAF before you get results? Or how long do you have to continue to do MAF? So anyone that knows me knows that, if I sign up to do something, I'll actually go out and I'll do it to the T. So I've done this. And for some people that don't know what MAF is, let's put the label aside and let's just call it, it's heart rate training. That's essentially what this is. It's heart rate training. So I've taken it to heart and I have gone through the process, and you've seen in my other video that you can see here what my results were like. Now I'm going to talk to you about the reality of what does that mean if I decide I'm going to run fast. I haven't done speed work. I don't know what that feels like, right? So I lined up this morning and then I went out and I ran. And I ran it as if it was a race. Maybe not fully to the capability of a race, because when you're in a race environment, it's very, very different. The terrain is different. This is just my morning run that I do. So yeah, let's go through and let's dissect on Strava, which is great. Most people have Strava. And I'm not affiliated with Strava. I'm not sponsored by Strava. I just like Strava. I think it's kind of cool. So let's dive in. Let's take a look. And let's look at what the results turned out to be, okay? So let me see how things played out on my run. Now let me show you, the last time I ran a 10K was the Compass race. And that was like 2016. That was June. That was a while ago. And that's been a long time. So my last 10K race was June 11th, 2016. That was the year that I was training for my Hamilton Marathon. And now the terrain is going to be different. Well, probably not that. The elevation gain was only 32 meters on that. And I completed it in, I guess I got to go by the time that I got from the race, which was a 4:59 pace and I got third in my age group. Now, I look at it, and we have to kind of break this down a little bit here. It's going to be different than what it was when I did my run the other day, because I didn't run because this is all closed, right, because of the pandemic. So Island Lake Trail is all closed, but these are my times. A lot of fours in here: 4:34, 4:41, 4:48, 5:5, 5:48. I mean, this is what it was like. And my heart rate when I did that was 179 average beats per minute. Okay, now that's what it was like back then. Now, in terms of speed, man, I got to go back. I mean, 2019, that was the half. I guess we could take a look at my half marathon. Okay, I mean, I'd only been doing MAF for about a month. Sorry, that's Lifeblood coffee. I'm just kidding. I just kind of like it. I don't drink very much of it. Maybe a cup once in a while. But so my half marathon. So this was October 19th, I think. October 20th. And so my average for this run was 5:26. It looks like that's what my pace was. Yeah, 5:26. And I had a heart rate average of 169 when I ran that. And that was down in Toronto. So when I signed up for this, I mean, I had no idea what pace I was going to run. I really honestly didn't know how well I would do. I think it wasn't until probably about kilometer 5 or kilometer 6, one of those two, that I decided that I would settle on a pace. Hey, if I could get, under 2 hours, I'd be happy. And I'm looking at, the times, and, there's a lot of 5:30s in there, right? And, that was hard for me. Like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, there's a 5:05. I took a gel a little bit before that. But anyways, it was very interesting. So that's 5:26 pace. That was in a race, right? That was actually full on in race mode. Now, and the weather was beautiful. Like it was, 9 degrees, sunny. There was no wind when I was out doing that one. So I was happy with my result from that. Now, in terms of running this particular route, I guess that's September. What did I run in September? So before the Scotiabank, before I even started down this road of MAF training, there's my route. I went out and I did this race. I did the fastest 10K in recent memory. And it's when actually I got my new Ultras, which was kind of interesting because I still have them and I'm still running them. And I was a 5:33 average pace on this particular run. So there's all my times right here. Now, I'll put that up on the screen so you can see what my results are with this particular run that I did. And then I will compare and I'll show you what things were like when I went out the other day. Now, I don't know if I recorded the temperature or anything like that. My heart rate was a bit high. Sure, it got better, blah, blah, blah. How was I? Okay, 164 average heart rate with a 133 pace. Cadence is 180. So that's I guess this is what I'm going to compare my run to. It's hard to pull out because I hadn't done a lot, but again, it gives you some idea as to how things have been going in the last little while, right? So let's go back to yesterday. Let's go back to today. Here we are. So let's take a look. So when I went out for this run, I labeled it, I raced me, myself, and I. And it was cold, man. It was cold. There was a crazy headwind yesterday, but again, there's my route again, and my pace that I was out was a 4:56 pace, and my average heart rate was 173. And so if I we'll put on the gap, put on heart rate, we'll show you everything, and there was my cadence. Actually, that may be a little bit too much to look at all in the whole thing here. So take a look at laps. So as you can see, I started off, right, I did a little bit of a warm up. It's not on this particular run that I did, but I did a little bit of a warm up just, to get the muscles going. And to be quite honest, I hadn't done any speed work, so I was a little kind of scared going to run fast. But anyways, I went out there and the pace that I was at, I was kind of surprised. So the first one was a 4:48. Now the gap I believe is dependent on whether you're going up or down. So if you're going down a hill or you're going up a hill, this is the number that kind of takes the elevation into consideration and comes up with to say this is the actual pace that you were running based on the effort that you were putting in. That's the way I look at it. Again, I don't know, guys, but this is just me, right? So 4:48, which is a 4:43, and I guess I should go with the gap, and because it compensates. But 4:43, 4:48, 4:46. Honestly, it wasn't probably until about 6 kilometers in that I felt like I started to kind of feel like I was getting in, well, probably around 4, probably about 5. Between 5 and 8 kilometers, I felt like I was in that zone, and I just hit it, and I was like, wow, this is going really well. The first distances, it felt kind of strained, right? It didn't feel natural to be going fast again because I'd been running slow for so long. So I'm going to say, yeah, it probably took me about 5 kilometers before I kind of hit that groove. And it's interesting because when I look at it, I can actually see that in the numbers and in my heart rate, right? So for the first little bit, my heart rate's probably still trying to figure out where it should be. And then around kilometer 4, it seems like, okay, it settled on this is where I need to be. So 4:54, 4:54, 4:51. Then I had a little bit of a hill I was dealing with on the next two. So 5:01, 5:05, right? And then those ones were like 176, 176, 176. And then, once I got kind of out of the hills, I had a little bit of a downhill, 142. And then I finished it off with a 146. Very happy, like extremely happy with the results. Like, you have to understand, there was a blizzard out here yesterday. Like, it was insane. The headwind, it probably, I think, was about 50 kilometers an hour, and it was blowing, man. And it was taking my breath away because it was so strong. I felt like I was in a tunnel, and I had like a hairdryer blowing cold air. I mean, it was crazy. But anyways, that's kind of what I was dealing with when I was out for this run. It wasn't easy, and from an effort level of trying to get uncomfortable with speed again and dealing with the wind. However, I pulled it out. I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, if I go back and we take a look at if this thing decides, okay, hold on a second. I'll get back in. My elevation gain on this was basically 60 meters. So it was more than the run that I did like almost 4 years ago when I ran. And this is more than, this is kind of like close to what I did at my half marathon, but I did it in such a shorter period of time. So 4:56, I'll take it. That was awesome. And I looked at my cadence. So my cadence before was 180, but then when I went and I did my run yesterday, I was at 187, which, again, very happy because again, I had a shorter, I was taking more steps per minute than I was in all of those other races that I had done. And again, you have to remember, this wasn't even a race. This was just me going out to see if I could do a fast 10K and what I can do it in. My heart rate, so it was 173. So I'm pretty happy with that, because again, if I look back on that other run that I did, I was 169, but I was running slower. I was like, what was it, 533 a kilometer. This was 556, and I'm 173 compared to 169. So yeah, I mean, 4 beats a minute higher. Plus, I'm another year older. Going back into those 4 years ago, again, I'm older by 4 years. So looking at the numbers and looking at what I was able to shave off of my time, totally super happy with where things, have been and what's been going on. So very happy. Now this one here, this run, it's 456. I can look at my matched runs as to kind of where I was, what I was doing. And it's interesting, right? My fastest was 429 on that one. But yeah, that's where I am. And this is where I was like 4 years ago, I think. So when I started MAF, yeah, I dropped all the way down. But since then, I've been working my way back up, getting better times and improving along the way. So, when you look at it and you look at some of these slower paces back, in February and whatnot, yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting. Right? 138, 138, 138, 139, 33. Like, very, very interesting in terms of distance. So I've really built up my cardio base, okay? Totally built that up. And I'd have to say it works. Guys, MAF, there's no two ways about it. I mean, you put in the time, you put in the effort, you train your you train your system aerobically, and you will get faster, and you will improve. Now, again, there's another thing I should mention. My distances, so here, I'll show you where I ended off. So I finished off the beginning of February, end of January. I was doing like 100 kilometer months, right? Get into February, down to 96, slowed it down to 55 just to kind of take a little bit of a break, then kind of bumped it up a little bit again, right? Then dropped it down. And then I basically took these 3 weeks to kind of figure out what was going on with my glute and my leg, which I did. So after that period of time, I kind of started working my way back up again. And this is kind of where I am. So really, I did this run. I had a 100 kilometer week here and a 72 there, 30, and then another 30. But again, I had some time off, and then I threw down, the race that I kind of superimposed on myself. So again, extremely happy. You got to be consistent when you're doing this. There is really no two ways about it. You have to commit yourself. You have to have patience with yourself, huge patience, because you want to go fast all the time. But again, you're going to get hurt, right? So I have slowed it down. I've lost weight. I've improved my mental side of things. My aerobic system is greatly improved. I can go longer distances with very little effort. And, I think I'm just a kinder, more gentle person, having done all of the training that I've done. My habits, my eating habits are really greatly improved. I've really changed that up, mixed in with my fasting that I did because of this whole pandemic mess. Pretty stoked with where I'm at. So I'll announce my big goals because those have changed, obviously, with this year. So I've got some different goals that I want to achieve, and I want to hear your results. So here's the question that I have for you all, and this is what I propose. what are the 3 things that you would like to improve on for the remainder of the year? What three things do you want to improve on in your running by the end of this year? It'd be great to see what you plan on doing in the comments. Just comment below. Love to see what you guys are planning. I'll tell you tomorrow what my plans are. Love to know what yours are. So that's it, guys. That's a wrap for today. I'm gonna get out there, maybe go for a bike today. Been doing a little bit of biking this last little while too. I've been really enjoying that, and maybe I'll post a video on some of my adventures with that as well. But anyways, that's it. That's all I got. Hopefully your training is going well. You and your family are staying safe and keeping the distance and staying home, except for going for a run and getting some groceries. Wish you all the best, and we'll see you later. Bye, everyone. Take care.